What's going on? It's your girl Ty here, which stands for Together Individual Entertainment. Okay, so today is all about Halloween safety tips, and I'm going to get to my slideshow here. So, Halloween safety tips. Where are you? This is all about location, 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 you guys. Look at the map. Know your routes, however you would like to pronounce it. Know your streets. Most streets won't have a name, so put a little sticker on that little light post or whatever, and that way they know the sticker is there as their landmark. Know your neighbors, such as getting to know your kids' parents. What I mean is, like, if you have a kid that goes to school with your kids or whatever, then yeah, you're always thinking, I need to know the kid's parent, I need to know this and that. So yeah, know your neighbors, especially like if you have someone who babysits it. It could be anybody, but you know what I mean. Know your landmarks. As I said before, look for a specific item that you've seen on the street, seen on the sidewalk, seen anything that will help you know where you are. Drive or walk around. What I mean is, when you pick up your kid from school and you're driving around, let them know they need to look out the window so they know exactly where they are, know how to get home, and all that stuff. Trust me, it helps, it helps, it helps. But it also mostly helps when you walk around on the sidewalks as well for safety reasons and practice and so many other things. So it always works. It always works. What time is it? This is all about timing, guys. Timing. Have an early dinner. When your kids get home, have something in the crock pot, TV dinner, anything that's simple. Make sure that they have a simple dinner to, enjoy as an early dinner, of course, because, well, they might want to get hungry after school. Plan when to get ready. So if you have a specific time about when trick-or-treating starts, make sure they're not in a rush to do it. You don't want a kid to come home with a costume on, and then all of a sudden they want to eat, and before you know it, their costume gets messy, and, so it's always saying, okay, all right, I get it. I need to make sure my kids are out of the costume, and that way they're not messing up their costume and all that stuff. Change of clothes is also important because, well, for weather reasons, and I'll get into that as well. Plan when your group arrives. If your group is coming to get your kid for trick-or-treating and all that stuff, make sure it's at a specific time because you never know. You never know if they want to come over to their house and have an early dinner together, so that way they're all ready together and all that stuff. So plan when your group arrives. The other is when to plan to leave. So basically, if your trick-or-treating starts at 6, maybe leave the house around 5:50 or 5:55. Because you don't want to start too early and you don't want to start too late. Because there's always going to be that change. It's always going to be the change. Plan when to be home. If your kid has a curfew or any kid has a curfew or whatever, we all know about it. Curfews and late nights and all that other stuff. Make sure that they're home at a specific time, especially if it's a teenager planning a Halloween party. And let me tell you something. Basically, I've seen teenagers do some, crazy things before and all that stuff. And what I'm saying is, if the teenager's planning a Halloween party, make sure it's on a school night, which means if Halloween is, being on Thursday, Wednesday, or whatever. I know Halloween is on a school night this year. Make sure your kid's playing this on the 26th, 27th. Trust me, I know what it's like. But you need to make sure you're also playing when they should get home. If they're outside trick-or-treating, tell them to be home at 7:50 or 7:55 because trick-or-treating ends, well, it could end around 8, it could end around 9, I don't know. But if a teenager is going to a Halloween party on the weekend or whatever, tell them they need to be home at a certain time because you never know what could go wrong. So, yeah. All right, next thing. What should I wear? Costume has to be above the ankle for walking purposes. If it is too low, past the ankle or past the feet, hey, just roll it up, roll the pants up, roll the skirt, use safety pins, use whatever you think might help. Just make sure it's above the ankle so that way they're not tripping, they're not falling or whatever. Props are short. Make sure the props are light and short because you don't want them having long props, tripping over them, and all that other stuff. Trust me, I should know. I've seen every little detail. Eye holes, the mask eye holes, that is, have to be big. Wear makeup if eye holes are too small. Reason is seeing. It's another safety purpose. Now, as for makeup, may I suggest you let the adult or teenage person handle the makeup, because after all, us adults, we know how to handle makeup, we know how to do things. You just got to give us a chance to actually do it. And if the adult ain't around, go for the next person, teenager. I know the teenager may feel annoyed to do makeup and all this stuff on little kids, but hey, if it's Halloween, try to get them involved. Comfortable shoes. Okay, everyone, this is coming from an experienced person who has done scare acting 3 years in a row, and should know comfortable shoes are the most requirable. Why? Because let me tell you something. I have failed my feet out 3 years in a row. I have worn uncomfortable shoes all because I was trying to look good, not be good. So, yeah, make sure it's low heel, flats, sneakers, rubber boots, just in case the weather changes, of course. I'm just saying, make sure your kids are not walking in uncomfortable shoes. I've tried every which way of my boots to feel comfortable, and yet it keeps failing. It keeps failing. So don't wear failed out shoes, guys. Have comfortable shoes on. Warm clothing, long sleeves, long pants, anything under the costume you may think is going to keep your kid warm, make sure it is on, at task. Because here's the thing. What I'm saying is, if your kid is coming home from school in short sleeves and a whole bunch of other things because they've been indoors in a warm place and all that stuff, that's good. But now they're home and they're going to be walking in cold. Make sure you have changing clothes for them on their bed, so they know. Well, if they're not headed to their bedroom, they might be heading to the living room, dining room, or wherever. Wherever you think the kid is going to go first in the house, make sure they see they're changing clothes and tell them in a note or something to let them know, this is what you got to wear tonight. This is what you need to be prepared for and all that stuff, because, it's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be easy with the weather changing on us. So, yeah. Prepare for the weather. And that's the other thing. If you were looking at the news and you see the news saying temperature is dropping from 70 down to 40 or 30, yeah, that's where you have to have something out separately for them, or something for them that you can bring with them, like an umbrella, a coat, rubber boots, poncho, anything in particular that's going to help your kid be prepared for the weather, do it. Turn on the light. Have a flashlight, glow stick, reflective tape. If the costume is too dark to see, that is. All this stuff is going to help your kid costume feel a lot more brighter. If the costume is too dark, like if it's a dark purple, if it's black, or anything, have reflective tape on the costume. It has to be a neon color, though. It has to be neon, like neon blue, neon green, neon pink, neon orange. It has to be a neon bright color, otherwise they're not going to be seen. Glow sticks, make sure you have 2 packs instead of 1. One is for testing, the other is for Halloween night. So glow sticks are always handy. It really is. Have a flashlight. Now, on the other hand, check batteries. If the flashlight batteries are dead, make sure you have spare or new batteries. So it's always important to do that. It's always important to have new or spare batteries on hand, just in case the old ones are going to die out or something. House lights on is a yes for trick-or-treating. So basically, if you're about to approach a house and it has lights on, go right ahead. If the house lights are off, that is a no of do not approach the house, because it is not the house that has no treats or whatever. Have spare or new bulbs. Make sure you check the bulbs, guys. Trust me, it works every time, and I'll explain that as we get down the list. Is it good? Never take unwrapped candy. Gross. Cut open full-size fruit. Why? Because the sharp objects could be in the fruit. And what's even better is that when you cut open the fruits, such as oranges or apples or whatever, you could put them in the fridge and save them for the next day of your kid enjoying a nice snack or something at school. So it's always important to do that. Check expiration dates. Never keep anything over 6 months or a year, people. Never do that. If you have an expiration date that is 6 months over or a year over of the candy, get rid of it. If you have candy that says expire until 25 or 26, as in 2025 or 2026, keep it. You're good on that time. But As I said before, do not keep anything over 6 months or a year. Just make sure you check the expiration dates. It always helps. Have a variety of treats, especially with anyone with a peanut allergy or lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerant means that they are allergic to dairy products. So make sure you check the labels of what treats you bought to make sure that just in case you need to get a variety of other kind of things. Like Hershey, for example. Hershey, chocolate, Milky Way, coconut things, anything with milk in it or whatever is lactose. And if a kid is lactose intolerant and cannot do anything with dairy, get something else in variety, such as salty chips. That also includes peanut allergies. We're talking like Reese's Cups and almonds and a whole bunch of other peanut stuff that could be in it. So in my case, I would say get Lay's or Sydney or any kind of salty chips to put in replacement. Have a variety of treats. So it's always best like that. Who are you? This is all about stranger danger, guys. So listen, never go with a stranger. Never take candy from a stranger. Never go inside a stranger's house. And that also includes a neighbor's house. If you know your neighbor, I would say don't do it. I mean, yes, you know the neighbor, but whether it's a neighbor that you know or not, don't go into the house unless it is an emergency, or unless it is, a parent or guardian going to be working late and they cannot come and get their kid. They are welcome to, come into the neighbor that they know inside their house and all this stuff. I'm just saying. Stay with a group of friends that you know and trust. You should always stay with your friends, stay with your parents, stay whoever it is you trust and know. Otherwise, it's not going to be pretty, you guys. Under 13 should be with an adult. That's another thing, guys. During Kennywood Phantom Fall Fest, they finally put an age limit on this, and they even have a Phantom announcement saying this all the time, that the Phantom does not want anybody the under age of 13 inside the park or easily scared. Otherwise, it's going to be turning out pretty hard. I mean, all I'm saying is your kids should know when not, and I mean it, should not run off after 6 p.m. in Phantom Fall Fest because it's going to, turn out terrible with the scare actors finding them first before you do. So, yeah. And the adult must be 21 and older. That also includes the same thing at Phantom Fall Fest. Anybody under the age of 17 must have an adult with them that's 21 and older. I would also recommend this during trick-or-treating as well. 13 and under must have an adult with them that's 21 and older. Scream, run, and fight. This is sort of like run, hide, fight, you guys, but this is different. If a stranger comes up to you from behind or whatever, scream first. Scream as loud as you can with your lungs held high and all this stuff. Fight back, kick your arms, legs, do whatever it is you can do to escape the person, and then run. And I would also suggest having a whistle on handy, a whistle or some sort of alarm, letting them know that you're in danger or whatever. When should I cross? This is about street safety, guys. Stop at the end of the corner of the sidewalk. When you reach the corner of the sidewalk, stop where you are. Do not move another inch. Look both ways 3 times, left and right. If you come up to a 3 or 4-way crossing, do not cross until you look not just sideways, also behind you as well. Because if you're coming up to a 3 to 4 walk, a crosswalk that is, you have to look behind you as well. You never know what's going to come up behind you. So make sure you do that. You have to do this 3 times, guys. Listen for oncoming vehicles. If you have headphones in or the little ear pods or whatever, take them out. Otherwise, you're going to miss out the sounds of the vehicles. So trust me on this. It's pretty important. Take off mask to look both ways better. Wait for a red traffic light and a walking person. So what I mean is The masks are also important to take off because if the eye holes are too small and you can't see, you need to take the mask off so you can actually see better and everything. That's why I suggest makeup. And of course, the traffic lights are also important. You need to wait for that red traffic light to happen and then see a walking person or a walk sign. Do not cross if the light is green and there's a don't walk and a red hand. So make sure you practice some traffic and then roadways. Trust me, it's always best to practice these road safety tips, guys. What does my kid need? Okay, so one of the things that I did not put on this list, but I suggest, is having a small backpack. And this is what they're going to need in their backpack. Personal information, name, number, and address. If you already have if you have so many backpacks at home that your kid has been using and it has personal information inside it, use one of the spare backpacks as a little guide and a helper as they trick or treat. Why? Because this is going to come in really handy, you guys. Personal information is not just one thing. Cell phone. Cell phones should only be for 13 and older. Do not get them at a young age. Don't do that. And when they do have their cell phone, tell them they cannot use their cell phone to play games or anything. They want to save their battery to make sure they call the parent or guardian or whoever to come and get them. Otherwise, it's just going to be tragic of halfway through. You do not want that cell phone to hit 50%, guys. Make sure your phone is completely and undeniably charged. Tracker. Now, I've seen this with kids in Kittyland. I've seen them on shoes, around the neck. A tracker is very important. And I've seen this on a video one time on TikTok or something. A person would cut open the sole of the shoe and put the tracker inside that little tab thingy, that little sole tab that's above the sole. And once it is inside, they sew it right back up and you can't even see the tracker. So that's always a good thing. Flashlight or glow stick. I mentioned this earlier with lights on. This is the most important thing that you're going to need for your costume. Flashlight or a glow stick, just in case. Of course, glow sticks are a substitute for flashlights just in case the batteries die. But, of course, pillowcase and a bucket. Now, I would also like to mention that there is a blue pumpkin bucket that represents people with autism. If your kid has autism, get the blue pumpkin bucket. You all need a pillowcase as well in their backpack because if the bucket is too full with the candy and all that stuff, then they need another thing to carry their candy in. Trust me, it's very important. But back to the flashlight and glow sticks. Flashlights, you need batteries. If the kid is outside and the battery is about to die, I would suggest having 2 pairs or whatever kind of pair of batteries it takes inside their backpack. That way they can change it and all that stuff. Jacket and umbrella, both weatherproof. If the weather starts turning cold and everything, make sure there's a jacket inside their backpack just in case they need to get their jacket on and stay warm and all that stuff. An umbrella or a poncho as well, just in case it's going to rain. Separate bag for snacks and drink. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is what I mentioned in what time is it for early dinner. If you have an early dinner, the kid is not going to eat snacks, eat the candy on its way door to door or on the way home. Instead, have a separate bag for them for snacks and drink. So that way they stay hydrated, but also stay, get a little hungry or whatever. So it's always best to have a separate bag for that. Is my house ready? Well, 1, clear all the leaves. It is fall, so leaves are falling. Clear all the leaves from your pathway. Light a path. Use solar power lights to light up your pathway. You want to make sure that the pathway is dry. Use a dryer, as in like one of those leaf blower dryers or whatever. Make sure path is clear or whatever. So it's always lights are on. Check your bulbs though. Make sure you check your bulbs outside and inside. If you are using a garage, check the bulbs to make sure it's not going to die on you. Check the bulbs on the porch. Check the bulbs that are anywhere necessary, just in case you're either going to be inside or outside. Doesn't really matter. Check the bulbs. vendor tent. If you've done a trick or treat before and you had a vendor tent to cover up your trunk or whatever, you need a tent to stay a little bit dry just in case it rains. And I also suggest sandbags and salt bags to hold it down, of course. A table for your little baskets or whatever that you're going to be using for your candies. A chair to sit in as you wait. A blanket to stay warm. Make it creative. So if you don't want to use treats, go to Oracle Trading or Party City or any other store that you might think of that might hold treats or, mini coloring books, pencils, crayons, anything. Check out those websites at Party City or Oracle Trading to replace treats with a fun bag instead. Trust me, it's very easy. And, of course, trivia. Now, when I was a kid, a neighbor of mine did this. She asked a trivia question to us, and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Since I was a huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I still am in a way, just not the present kind, more like the past kind. Anyways, she gave me 2 treats instead of 1 because even though she didn't ask me a bonus question, since I knew a lot about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I guess you could say that, my knowledge paid off, and that's always a good thing. So try to make it fun for the kids as they walk up. And that's it. Have a happy and safe Halloween, you guys, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, this is Ty saying, stay safe for Halloween, everyone. Bye.